you've identified 5 elements of a counteroffensive that can improve companies' ability to compete. Can you share those with us?
Yes, the first one is to be omni-channel. And so, we need to look at catalogs, we need to look at online, we need to look at customer pickup, we need to look at our inside sales, need to look at our outside sales. So we need, as a distributor, to holistically look at us being one view from the customer. So when the customer looks at us, there shouldn't be a different price online than there is in our catalog. And we shouldn't have deals online that don't exist in the catalog. We got to have one view where the customer looks at us and sees us as an omni-channel. Secondly, we got to understand something about the customer's desire for pickup or for local delivery, and understand that that might be quite a bit different because of the Amazon Titan of what is reasonable time frames, and how do we respond to that customer in a time that he finds satisfactory or she finds satisfactory. If we say to the customer, yes, that's fine, we'll deliver that to you next week, chances are good we're going to lose the order because they're not willing to wait a week. The third counteroffensive says something about making sure that we understand the impacts of great service and that service affects our demand. And so traditionally, when we've planned the number of branches or we've planned the number of distribution centers, we've looked at it that demand was independent of service. But now what we're seeing is demand is dependent upon service. And so the better the service, the more you sell. And so the supply chain not only gives us opportunities to reduce cost in the delivery of the product, but also gives us an opportunity to increase revenue. And so we're talking now not about cost minimization, but really about profitable growth. Profitable having to do with the bottom line and growth with the top line. Fourth, we need to think about a counteroffensive where we do a better job of integrating planning and execution. In fact, traditionally in organizations, we have one group that does the planning and another group that does execution. And so in the organization, we talk about planning and execution. What I want to do is I want to eliminate the word and I want to talk about planning execution, where the planning cycle feeds into the execution cycle. And so, yeah, we have a 5-year strategic plan. We have a 1-year annual plan. We have a monthly sales and operations plan. But then we have a daily replenishment plan, which is really execution. And then we have an hourly synchronization of supply and demand as we read the real demand signals and we bring supply to meet those demands. And now we're integrating the planning and the execution functions, and I think that's really key. And then the fifth is for us to have a demand-driven supply chain where we are reading the hourly, the maybe every 15 minutes demand which is occurring in the supply chain, and we are adjusting and adapting accordingly so that we could have better fulfillment of customer orders while having less inventory. And so becoming a demand-driven supply chain, I think, is really, really key. Now, different distributors will decide different of these elements to apply, and that's great. But what we need to do is say, okay, of these 5, which elements are we going to make our counteroffensive, and how do we become strategic in attacking our competition?
Jim, we really appreciate your sharing your knowledge and expertise with us today.
Thank you very much. Great to be with you.
To learn more about Tompkins International, visit tompkinsinc.com.